Hello everyone and welcome back to Skullbells TV. Today we're going to focus on the Bulgarian split squats on the Smith machine for the quads.
That's right.
So we're going to be focusing on the quadriceps, especially the middle and lower quads.
Yeah, try to find a Smith machine that slants if you can to start out. That's going to allow you to shift more of your emphasis to your quads because your center of gravity is going to be over your knees, not over your hips.
Exactly. So the weight that you're going to be using, guys, you're not going to be using a lot of weight here. So let's focus on pretty much half of what you would normally do on a back squat. So start with the bar, add weight until you fail around 8 to 12 reps. Be careful not to go too heavy. The gear you will need on this is nothing really. All you will need is pretty much a set of knee straps. What do you think, Colt?
Yeah, when in doubt, always go barefoot. I like to have knee wraps or knee sleeves. I think you use wraps and that helps you with your blood flow we were talking about earlier. I like to use knee sleeves because they're way more convenient to be able to put on. Either way, they don't give you quite as much power as knee wraps. We're not really going super heavy on these, so knee sleeves are more than sufficient for what I need. I also find a thin leather belt to be very, very helpful. I can get a couple extra reps and brace my core a little bit better when I do it that way. And as far as footwear goes, you can never go wrong going barefoot on most leg exercises, but on this one in particular, having some Olympic squat shoes I'm finding to be very, very helpful. If you don't have any, you can never go wrong going barefoot. And if you're in the United States, Vans or Converse, that's kind of the cool thing to use on leg day. You can't go wrong with those either.
So when we look at form, your center of gravity should be over your knees.
Yeah, that's how you're going to emphasize your quads. If your center of gravity is over your hips, you're using mostly glutes. If your center of gravity is over your knees, you're emphasizing mostly the quads. You want to keep that tension on your quads the entire time you're doing this exercise. Even visualizing yourself doing a leg extension while you're doing the exercise, that'll help bring in your quads a bit better. Choose between either having a high bar or a low bar. Personally, I prefer the low bar. Mark, I think you prefer the low bar too, right?
Yeah, I prefer the low bar also, yes.
Why do you like the low bar?
You've more control of the weight when it's on your lower back. When it's up on your neck, you're going to put an awful lot of strain on your neck.
Yep, exactly. And here again, it's subject to the person because Taylor, she gets a way better quad activation if she has a high bar. In most situations, a high bar is going to emphasize quads more than a low bar will. But since we're on the Smith machine, that changes things. You're able to get away with a bit more. So I'm able to take advantage of the opportunity to use a low bar for power, but still emphasize my quads because of where the center of gravity is. You can't do that with a free bar.
When it comes to your bar options, guys, just make sure you put the bar where you feel comfortable. If you feel the bar is comfortable on the neck, then go with the neck. If you feel it's not, then probably bring it down pretty much and leave on your traps.
For sure. Now, if you've been watching our videos for long, you're used to hearing us preach about the importance of going to eccentric failure. This exercise is actually the exception to the rule. Going to concentric failure is gonna do plenty of damage to your quads. Forcing reps and going to true eccentric failure, that is on the negative, is not necessary here, and it's certainly not safe. Trying to bail out at the bottom and then reset and then get going again for your strong leg, not a good idea. So I've been bailing out about halfway down, which is slightly after concentric failure, and about halfway through when I'm going to fail eccentrically. In other words, once I have hit concentric failure, then I lower the bar for another foot or two, which is a good safe spot to be able to regroup and hit the strong leg for as many reps as I just did on my weak leg.
Okay, guys, so when we look at tempo, what we need to understand is we do the most muscle damage when we actually lower the weight. So if you can think about it, when you actually lower down into the movement, so if you drop down, that's where you're going to do the most damage. So this is where we need to focus on a 3 to 4 second negative. So as you drop, let's go count down 4, 3, 2, 1. Then when you get at the bottom, just pause and then explode all the way up. If you can do that between 8 and 12 reps, trust me, your legs will be on fire.
And that's pretty much it. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining us. We'll catch you on the next workout. And thank you, Coach Mark, for teaching Taylor, myself, and the rest of our athletes how to do Bulgarian split squats on the Smith machine.